You don't mean to stay up this late. You tell yourself you'll read one more comment, then another. Someone you've never met puts into words the thing you've been carrying for years, but never knew how to explain. Within minutes, strangers are replying. They understand. They finish your sentences before you do. For the first time in a long time, you don't feel like the strange one. Your shoulders loosen. You stop wondering if something is wrong with you. Maybe you weren't broken after all. Maybe you were just surrounded by people who never really saw you. So you come back the next night. If someone had called it a cult, you would have laughed. They called it a community, and it felt like home. Every notification feels less like a distraction and more like proof that you exist in someone else's mind. Not because you're addicted, because someone is finally listening. Homes don't always have walls. Sometimes they're built from recommendations, from familiar usernames, from thousands of tiny moments that all whisper the same comforting message. You belong here. And that's what makes the next question so uncomfortable. At what point does a place that finally understands you become a place you can no longer imagine leaving? When most people hear the word cult, they imagine isolation, a remote compound, locked gates, someone taking away your phone. But physical isolation was never the real goal. The goal was psychological isolation. Today, nobody needs to confiscate your phone. They only need to become the thing your phone shows you most. You can sit across the dinner table from your family, answer their questions, laugh at the right moments, and still spend most of your emotional life somewhere else. Inside a reality assembled one recommendation at a time. Every click quietly teaches the algorithm what version of the world keeps your attention. Every recommendation assumes that if one explanation comforted you yesterday, an even stronger one might comfort you tomorrow. Not because someone is trying to recruit you, because certainty is engaging, and certainty is comforting. The world is confusing, relationships are complicated, experts disagree, the future refuses to give clear answers. Then you find a community that explains everything. Every problem has a cause. Every cause has someone to blame. Every question has an answer. The relief is immediate. Psychologists sometimes call this the need for cognitive closure, our desire to reach a clear answer instead of living with uncertainty. It's a deeply human instinct, especially when life feels chaotic. That doesn't make someone gullible. It makes them human. Nobody wakes up hoping to surrender independent thought. They wake up hoping the exhausting uncertainty will finally end. It rarely begins with manipulation. It begins with reward. You post using the language everyone else uses. The response is immediate. Likes, replies, new followers. People tell you you've finally figured it out. Your brain notices the pattern long before you consciously do. Acceptance has rules. Speak this way, share these ideas, celebrate these victories. Soon, you're not just participating, you're performing belonging. And for many people, those communities really do offer something meaningful. Friendship, encouragement, people who answer when nobody else does. Some even find the confidence to rebuild parts of their lives because, for the first time, they feel accepted, which is exactly why leaving becomes so difficult. Then something changes. The opinions that earned applause yesterday become ordinary. To stay visible, you need stronger opinions, more certainty, less doubt. Because doubt rarely spreads online. Confidence does. One day you hesitate before posting, not because you've changed your mind, because you already know which sentence will earn approval and which one will earn silence. Think about the last opinion you changed online. Did you truly change your mind? Or did you simply realize which answer would keep you inside the group? Eventually, disagreement starts to feel dangerous, not because anyone threatened you, because losing these people now feels like losing yourself. Human beings evolved to survive in groups. Being rejected by your community once carried real consequences, and our brains still respond to social exclusion as if belonging were essential to survival. Then comes becomes the oldest story humanity has ever told. Us and them. Your feed fills with examples proving your group was right all along. The outsiders misunderstand you, mock you, dismiss you, attack you. Whether those examples are common or rare becomes almost irrelevant. They're emotionally memorable, and emotionally memorable things are exactly what recommendation systems tend to amplify. Soon, the outside world stops looking like millions of individuals. It becomes one hostile crowd. Inside the group, every criticism becomes evidence. Every disagreement confirms the story. Every attempt to pull someone back sounds like an attack from people who simply don't understand. No hypnotist was required. No secret meeting. Just thousands of tiny interactions that quietly taught your brain where it was safest to belong. Traditional cults often revolved around one charismatic leader. When that leader disappeared, the movement often fractured. Digital cults don't always have that weakness, because sometimes there isn't a leader at all. There is only an environment, an invisible system asking the same question billions of times every day. What will keep this person here just a little longer? It doesn't care whether the content is hopeful or fearful, wise or foolish, constructive or destructive. Its measure of success is attention. If outrage keeps people watching, outrage spreads. If certainty keeps people scrolling, certainty multiplies. Not because the machine believes any of it, because engagement is measurable. Human flourishing isn't. For most of history, communities were shaped by geography, family, or shared responsibility. Today, they can be assembled instantly, reinforced continuously, and personalized for every individual, not by someone who knows your name, but by a system that only knows what successfully kept you from looking away. It doesn't need to understand you, only predict you. The unsettling part isn't that an algorithm secretly believes something. It doesn't. The unsettling part is that something without beliefs can still shape ours, not through force, through repetition, by quietly deciding which conversations become impossible to ignore and which ones disappear before we ever notice them. The architecture doesn't need to convince you of one specific worldview. It only needs to keep rewarding the version of yourself that stays engaged. And after enough days, enough months, enough years, that rewarded version can begin to feel more real than the person who first opened the app looking for connection. Perhaps the greatest irony is this. The same technology capable of introducing us to millions of people has also become astonishingly good at convincing each of us that we've seen enough of the world already. Without ever asking for it, our reality becomes quietly edited, not through censorship, but through repetition, until familiar voices begin to feel like objective truth and unfamiliar ones start to sound increasingly unreasonable. By then, the walls were never built around you. They were built inside you. We're all searching for a place where we feel understood. But before you let that place become your whole world, are you certain you know who's quietly holding the key to the door?